Okay, it's rap pack to my pulse flat. We keep it real, no false rap. I got 4 cars and they all black. Got 4 bras and they all that. We call that ballin'. Doing this is my calling. Flow is so appalling. My phone off and she calling. I'm like, yeah, what it do?
Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Zoletu. And welcome back to Nth-Level Entertainment. So today we've got quite a packed show for you. We're going to start off with a trailer reaction to the new Black Lightning coming through to CW.
Black Lightning. I'm not familiar with this character. I haven't seen the trailer yet. I'm excited anytime CW puts up a new superhero show. Shall we have a look?
Like so much DC content on TV, we shall. And right after that, we're going to be doing one movie news item, and then we're going to do our usual DC's TV universe CW roundup.
Man, what a view. Fall back cause I'm coming through with my whole team. They coming too, that's real.
Not a bad
Black
prospect.
Lightning is a savior who kept our streets and our schools safe. He was hope personified. But he was also Jefferson Pierce.
Not bulletproof.
Let's go.
Yep. Kind of like Sam and Dean in Supernatural.
Yeah, we do have to get the classic eye. Get people engaged.
Someone else do it. Go save her.
Baby, I promise.
Yeah, you're probably gonna get a toll.
So this is one of those family man heroes.
I love you both.
He tried to keep his
He's kind of an Idris Elba lookalike, isn't he?
more lives
Kind of, yeah. But he's been around for a long time. I think I'm familiar with the acting.
But without Black Lightning, violence in the streets by the 100 gang multiplied.
Our children are dying in these streets and no one cares.
The anger was just under the surface for all of us. The whole city
So,
was ready to explode.
tonally, it sounds like they're trying to go Netflix route with the dark and edgy.
Very much like Luke Cage, especially with the subject matter.
But this is the CW, it's gonna be
A little campier.
yeah, like Riverdale.
Suit updates.
Wait, we got this instead of Jimmy Olsen's Guardian getting his own show.
Now you just piss me off.
Bulletproof now. Looks like his kids have got powers too.
Their family's electric.
You mess with me, my sister, my
They have a
mama,
spark.
or the innocent in this city, you're gonna get lit up.
Set your car. Yeah. It was nice.
Oh, yeah.
Black Lightning's back.
The anti-supernatural, because they ruined the classic car.
Come on, little overprotective.
Okay, interesting.
I will watch this.
So it looks like at its core, it's kind of a family show as well.
Yeah, I also don't think they can deliver on the dark tone. I think they're gonna kind of get.
It being the CW,
They-
right?
They're gonna go grey, but not full on.
Not full on fade to black dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know if that's like the tone they're actually going for. I don't think dark is what they're going at, from the way I perceive it. I kind of get the feel that Luke Cage kind of like, opened the doors for this whole diversity thing now in both comic books and comic book related media.
Yeah, but Luke Cage came out of a very specific tone, and it's specifically talking about racism there.
Yeah,
And you've got that. Okay, this is where the character's going to go.
Yeah, it's things like Black Lives Matter. It's the whole black consciousness.
In contrast to that, this seems dark for dark's sake. Like,
well, I
they're
mean,
doing dark for the trailer.
Yeah, and I think also when you say for dark's sake, for example, I think in terms of the the social responsibility tone that one picks up from Luke Cage. It was a bit weakly done here because, you know, gang violence is what inspires this like superhero to come back into action. I'm not saying gang violence is trivial, but
it gives the
it
character
feels forced.
a clear motivation in Luke Cage, and we don't see that here in this specific trailer. I'm going to watch the show.
Definitely.
They've made a trailer which is trying to get me to watch the show.
Right.
It's worked. I'm going to watch it. I have to. I'm excited about it. I don't know where they're going to go with it.
Look, I would also watch it definitely, purely because I'm such a DC comic book fan in the first place. And what a time to be alive when we have this much content specifically based on comic book media on television. You know,
all the kids that grew up reading comic books are now making shows.
There we go. For the newer generation to not have to go through the pains of reading, I guess, because now there's so much of it. You know, almost. You know how a parent says, "I want you to have what I didn't have." It's kind of what they're doing with the reading thing, because now, like, we live in a time where every day of the week there's a different superhero on television. You know, Mondays we've got Supergirl, Tuesdays we've got The Flash. Wednesdays we've got Arrow. I don't know when this is going to be slotted, but
Thursdays we had Legends.
Thursdays we had Legends. No, but it moved to the same day as Flash.
Yes, so that's probably where they're going to put it, because Fridays is Supernatural.
Yes, and we still have Teen Titans coming up.
Ooh, I'm excited about Teen Titans.
I'm very excited about that.
I've seen the cartoon, but
I've seen Young Justice.
Young Justice.
Yeah, which was a nice version of Teen Titans. It was an amalgam.
Young Justice gave me the best version of Damian Wayne.
Yes. Well, no. Damian Wayne wasn't in Young Justice, the television show.
Oh, no, he was.
But he was in the Teen Titans animated movies.
No, Damian Wayne's in Young Justice.
No ways.
Yes, he's there.
Tim Drake is in Young Justice.
Tim Drake is Nightwing.
The younger
who's
Robin.
leading up the... And
Dick Grayson is Nightwing. He was the first Robin. And then came Tim Drake. And then
Damian Wayne.
Damian Wayne
is in Young
earliest.
Justice.
He is not.
Oh, shall we Google?
We can Google.
We can
and
Google.
Fans,
Would
please
you like to
correct us
Google?
in the comments.
Would you like to Google? Let's Google, Greg. Google
right.
it. Google it. Google Young Justice. Google Young Justice. Oh, okay. Yeah, you want to get specific.
Okay, let's see. Robin, Nightwing. Okay, they don't say who their actual names are.
Go to the wiki. Go to the Wikipedia.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I
No,
don't
it's
know
the
if
fan
we're
wiki.
keep
Go to the
this.
real wiki, because I don't believe the fan
We're not
wiki.
keeping this. We're definitely not keeping this. Should we just Google who Nightwing is? Or
Yeah, we know who Nightwing is. We're
He's-
Googling Young Justice specifically.
okay.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Young Justice TV series. There you go. They made a TV series.
Okay, so
Scroll.
characters. Dick Grayson, Robin, Superboy. I've already know one that's just by the way. Season 2 editions. Tim Drake as the new Robin.
Okay.
Let us know in the comments what you would like what I win from this bet to be from Dave. People. Thank you. Because I have just owned him. Right now, I think denial is setting in. Because he's still trying to find a way.
Wait.
It's Tim Drake, Dave.
I'm hitting Control F. I'm finding. Wait. What was
Damian Wayne.
Okay, you won that.
The biggest upset in YouTube TV show
listen.
history.
No, wait. Damian Wayne wasn't.
Damian Wayne is the newest Robin.
Yes, I
He's
know.
the
He's the
youngest
newest.
Robin.
Yes, I know who Damian Wayne is.
Yes. Are you sure? Because we
No, I've seen him in Young Justice.
You've
Was
seen
he
him,
not in Young Justice?
You've seen him in the DC animated movies.
I have seen him in the deep. And
So you saw Teen Titans.
Is
That's where the
everything-
confusion is.
Is everything blending together now?
Yeah, it seems that way.
Everything
because,
that DC is animated is just one
because
movie.
Teen Titans and Young Justice are two separate teams. You see.
Okay, true. You're pissed at me. I admit defeat. I was incorrect.
I accept the victory graciously.
So anything that DC is animated to me is just one show.
Wow.
I've seen 10 years.
That's how
of-
good Young Justice was, because it actually measures up to the DC animated movies.
Everything's Batman the Animated Series now. It's all the same show. I've been watching this since I was 12.
But that's how much content we have now. You know, that it just goes to show.
Yeah.
So yeah, Black Lightning does look good. It looks like it's going to be a nice addition to the DC CW universe. And I think we're getting that much closer to having a Justice League. But I'm going to give my thoughts on that later when we review this week's Supergirl.
Yes.
So we are now moving to our DC CW Universe show weekly review.
Too real. Motherfucker, tell me how you feel. I'm too good for my own good. I won't leak the album.
And we're back, I guess, right? We're starting with
I
Supergirl.
watched Supergirl. I watched it. That's what I'm gonna say. I watched
Come on.
Supergirl.
Come on.
Oh man,
Come on.
you can't watch the episode in isolation. It's
No.
a 3-episode arc. We built up to it from 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
And
To now.
I feel like 2 episodes of that were wasted time. I'm glad they killed Terry Hatcher. I'm glad.
I'm very disappointed with how they actually used Terry Hatcher, you know, because it was such a great opportunity to...
You could have done more with the character.
Yeah, because look, I love how they go for this whole Easter egg thing and name dropping and, you know, getting people that were involved with DC from the past and bringing them up now, you know, it's iconicness and all that stuff. It's great, but Terry Hatcher was so misused. You know?
At the very least, we could have got Dean Cain on this. We should have got Dean Cain
They were supposed
in
to.
a scene.
They were supposed to have scenes with Dean Cain. I don't know what happened. It was planned that way, from what I heard. You can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But I remember it actually being officially said that Dean Cain was supposed to have scenes with Terry Hatcher to, you know, sort of bring full circle the fact that they've brought both of them back onto the show. But yeah.
I don't think it much matters in the context of the story, though.
No, of course, in the story, no. This was mainly for the fans.
It was not a great episode.
It wasn't. But the fight with Superman
Seemed weak.
awesome. It was awesome.
Okay.
Come on, look.
All right.
You
we
can
have
see.
to disagree here.
You could see that. That's where some of the show's budget was saved for.
You
into
didn't
that.
need a bunch of budget in order to make good choreography. I feel like Superman's there. We have a whole. We're building up to a slap fight in a pond. These are drunk basic bitches
They were not
that are
slapping.
slapping each other.
Okay.
It's
Yes, it ended in the pond, but
we got some shaky
it started. It started in space, Dave.
but
They broke out of that window, flew from space all the way down to
look,
Earth,
silver kryptonite.
And-
I gotcha.
and the camera followed them all the way down to Earth. And then they had an aerial fight, and then they broke a couple of buildings, and then ended in the pond. It was a good fight. It was a good fight. Look, you. and it
didn't impress upon me the power that is Superman. This should be the scariest person
Well,
on Earth.
here's the thing. He's fighting Supergirl, who's the lead of the show.
He's
you know?
fighting his niece. This is a
His
little
cousin.
girl.
His cousin.
His
Who's
cousin.
technically older.
A
than
little-
him.
This is a child compared to Superman. Superman's the big bad.
Superman,
Superman
as we
is
know
the
him.
guy who he can end worlds. The last son of Krypton
Superman-
fought the last daughter of Krypton.
Yes, and lost.
And
you
the
know what?
fight wasn't satisfying.
Look,
It's like, nah, it's
Superman
boring.
has to always play second fiddle to Supergirl in the context of the show.
It is technically a show, yes.
So that's one of the reasons why he had to
But-
appear weaker, right?
But
But now,
but
my
what-
next point that I was going to make is that in
Well-
terms of choreography, Superman has always been a brute force type of person.
Yeah,
We've seen that the show can do good choreography through Guardian
but
and
if
his
you
fight scenes.
if you make Superman
Mhm.
seem stronger, having Kara defeat him and win that fight makes the show more satisfying.
I'm about to bake your noodle.
You're about to bake my noodle.
I'm about to bake your noodle.
Bake my noodle is a phrase now.
Are you aware that it is comic book canon that Kryptonian women, wait for it, are
What?
stronger than Kryptonian males?
Oh, okay, I did
It's
not
a
know
thing.
that.
It's a thing. It's canon.
I did not know that.
It's DC comic book canon. So not
If-
only did they stick,
If the show kind of impressed that upon me, that would have made a better episode.
well, you see, they try to through exposition in the conversation that Superman has with Kara after the fight, when he actually says, "Wait a minute, I was at full strength, and you beat me."
Yeah,
and she
that's-
tried to play it off and be humble, and he
Mm.
was like, "No, no, 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 I was at full strength." So that they did try to make that
Okay,
point by forcing
yeah.
that bit of dialogue.
But it didn't feel that way when you watched the episode.
I said, okay. But it was a visually stunning fight, though.
I don't know.
It
I-
was.
if you were holding this fight up against airing in the same week, Barry Allen versus Saboteur, dude, that first fight between Flash and Saboteur, that is the best fight we've seen in any of the CW shows.
I'm gonna differ on that for several reasons. One of which I'm gonna have to save later for our Arrow review. But look, you're comparing speedsters and Kryptonians.
No, I'm comparing special effects.
Wow.
Special effects and choreography.
But the special effects themselves are going to be different, and the choreography is going to be different, because we're dealing with two different subject matters. Kryptonians are all about power, and they fly. Some of their fights are aerial.
You
Speedsters,
should be seamless. You should
speedsters
be
have
able.
super speed. They run even when they're not supposed to. It's a fight, but part of it is a race. You know, like where are we running to? You know.
Well, they're having a
But I understand it
they're having a
because
slap
they're
fight while
speed-
tap dancing.
But you see how it doesn't make sense. But I understand it because of the subject
Okay,
matter.
okay.
It's
I-
speedsters.
I see where you're coming from. I still don't like the fight. I'm sorry, I can't say that it was a good battle
Okay.
between Supergirl and
I can
Superman.
accept that.
I
can
wanted
accept
more. I think they could have done better.
that. Okay. But do we agree, though, that Superman would have to have played second fiddle in any case? Because it is a Superman show.
yeah.
He had
it's-
to.
it's- We've already had a Superman. We've had two Superman shows. This is a Supergirl show. Obviously, she should have won.
Yes.
She could have fought a tougher Superman. Could have.
And Miss Martian also came back.
Yeah, that was nice.
On the show.
I like that.
That was very
oh,
nice.
oh, I'm not actually on Earth. We're psychically linked. You were in distress. I felt it from Mars.
And I heard you and I came through.
Yeah.
How do you feel about John Jones now dating a white Martian? People who were his sworn enemies not so long ago. I feel that transition is a little stark.
She hot
Or
though.
abrupt. She's hot in her
I'd
human form.
smash.
In her human form. But like, look, I understand the growth and character development thing.
Mm.
Maybe forgiving her, becoming a friend, I get. Dating her,
Well, it was set up that Green Martians hate White Martians in a very weirdly racist, intrinsic sense.
oh, it's totally racist. I
But-
mean,
Getting over that seems a little too easy.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I get why they would force that for the
But
sake of story.
on the other hand, they have said there's this intrinsic racist thing. They haven't really built it up. We haven't gone into the history of Mars and the green and white Martians.
True, true.
So
Well,
I
they-
don't know. Maybe it's like, oh, I don't like people from 6th Street because
Look,
they
they
smell like
did.
curry.
Okay, I'll have to, I think, defend the show again. They did kind of do that earlier on, because I mean,
Yeah, well, we see his
it took a
family
while.
getting burned.
Yes, and it took a while for Jean to discover that she's a white Martian.
Yeah.
And when he did, he hated her guts. He kept her in prison for like several episodes.
But I don't know if the whole reasoning behind I'm green, you're white, I must hate you intrinsically.
Well, yeah, that's
We
a
don't
little
have
more
we don't have
historic.
the weight of
Yeah.
the history.
I get you.
So-
I get you. That is true.
I get it. I also don't mind that he's Jean Jones is so compassionate he can get over a thing that should be massive.
And horny, apparently. Because it could just be the fact that, hey, there's no more Martians anyway, so why not?
Well, they are a bunch of white Martians. They just
Exactly.
we saw them in the episode. They came around.
Yes, and they helped out. Which was a great action
Began
sequence,
running
actually.
with her squad.
Yes, they're her bitches now.
That's everyone that got rejected from Taylor Swift's squad.
She went there and just basically ran the motherfucker, it looks like.
It's that I was like,
Right.
That's good. I
That-
like that.
That does actually
That
put her
I
in a
like.
nice position of power
Yeah.
as a character.
Oh, you're leading a rebellion.
But that action sequence was so awesome though. It was very like Justice League-esque. You know, we had like Superman and Martian Manhunter teaming up, flying through the city, fighting Daxamite soldiers.
So is Cat Grant coming back to the show?
From what she
Regularly?
said, when she said, I'm back now, making that announcement in front of the screen,
Yeah,
it seemed a bit like that.
It seems like she's taking over Catco again.
It looks like it. Because she took Jimmy's stuff out. His weights, he's going to come
Yeah.
back from a patrol one night in
He's-
his Guardian uniform.
He's gonna stroll back into his office and she's like, no, it's Jimmy. Go take pictures of the things.
Take the helmet off, get the camera,
Yeah.
you know?
So from this episode, Cat Grant was never fooled by the Supergirl ruse. When
It seems that way.
she's like, oh yeah, you go Supergirl.
Because
Like,
maybe since she hinted it in season 1, she never let it go, I think.
yeah, she knows.
Because she confronted her straight up in season 1.
Obviously,
And she denied it.
you're Supergirl. I don't know what trickery is this, but you're Supergirl. You're not wearing a mask. It's fine. So wait, does she not know that Clark Kent is Superman?
Now that's
Because
very interesting.
so she
'Cause she's hot for
IDs,
Clark.
she IDs Kara and she IDs Guardian. She doesn't ID Superman.
Could it
She's
be
actually hot for him.
Could it be that because she's so hot for Clark, she's not thinking as logically as she does when she engages with Guardian and Superman? You know, because there's no sexual tension to
The
distract her.
exact opposite of how arousal works. It's like, yeah, I can spot you in a onesie. You're wearing a onesie and a red blanket. Yeah, you're still, yeah, same dude. That's
But Clark doesn't walk around in spandex and glasses. So, like, can one really make that much distinction from body frame?
yeah,
Come on.
yes. Oh, I did like the little Easter egg, the little drop where she mentioned Star Wars. I've never seen Star Wars.
Oh, yes.
Because Callista Flockhart is
And she-
married to Harrison Ford.
Dude,
Yeah,
and she's the
that
one who
was-
actually brought up the reference.
That was a nice drop.
That
I
was
liked
very
it.
nice.
I'm like, oh, I see what you did there.
You see,
That's
this
fun.
is the thing that DC does well. Well, CW and DC do very well, but failed with Terry Hatcher. But we'll let that go. We'll let that go. So Warworld was also mentioned for the second time in the show.
Yes.
The first time was by Monel, when he gave Kara that tip on how to defeat one of the warriors that Roulette had in her underground alien fight club, about the left knee thing. He said he watched him in a couple of fights back when on Warworld, when he was still a prince. And then this time it was mentioned again by Superman.
Yes.
Do you think we'll get Mongol on the CW?
I don't know. I feel like now that Supergirl is on the CW, they will do with that property what they need to. I was surprised in the beginning of season 2 when we got Superman, we got Cyborg Superman,
Dude.
we got so much.
Cyborg Superman. I'm sorry, I can't get over how he used to announce himself all the time. Anyway,
Yeah, because like we forgot what your name is. We got it the first time.
we get it.
Maybe he doesn't remember his own name and he has to keep reminding himself. They replaced part of my brain that holds memory. I have to. I'm Cyborg Superman.
Oh wow! But look, okay, with how well King Shark has been done,
Ooh, I did like.
on with CGI on the CW.
I did like the heist from the recent Flash episode.
So it is possible that we can get a Mongol, because I think Mongol is one of those characters who would have to be CG. He's huge, you know, and he's yellow. He's an alien. That
They've
would
only
be.
had small yellow people. Now they got a budget for big yellow people.
And Supergirl's villains do tend to be these spacefaring type villains as well.
Yeah, she's the alien show.
Yeah.
They've managed to establish their own niches. On Monday I've got the alien show. Tuesday I've got the weird fast runny guy show.
Athlete show. Yeah, I've got the Olympics on Tuesday.
And yeah, then we've got the arrowy guy.
And then we got Ninja Warrior on Wednesdays. Stephen Amell was on Ninja Warrior recently. Just by the way.
I have no idea what show that is.
It's like a funny obstacle type of course that you do have to be reasonably fit to win.
Oh, like American Gladiator, but
Yeah,
ninjas?
esque. Well, they just call it Ninja Warrior because there's a lot of acrobatic type stuff that you have to do. But it's just kind of testament on how hard they actually trained for that show. So, Rhea has kryptonite blood.
That's a dumb thing. It's a dumb thing you did. That seems dumb. How are you... Wait.
How?
Hang on. There's a foreign
Do you
substance in your bloodstream. You don't immediately have cancer.
Lead can kill you, right? But
Actually,
Your
lead
blood-
can
your-
kill anyone.
but
It's
your
a
blood-
poison.
pumping full of kryptonite for years doesn't.
Your solution to fighting off the alien threat
Is for her to make you
let's
bleed.
poison the atmosphere with the thing that causes brain damage.
To everyone.
No, humans aren't going to be affected. We're not going to have
I heard-
babies born with.
I was
brain
warned
damage.
about lead poisoning in preschool. No, sorry, primary school.
Don't put lead in my atmosphere, please. What? No. The solution is not lead.
Oh yes, and Monel is less affected by it, you know, compared to the rest of the Daxamites because he's been exposed to the yellow sun more.
Because he's got a better tan than the rest of the Daxamites, so he can survive lead poisoning.
And I suppose all they had were spray tans. I don't know.
What? This is a dumb concept. This came from the comics. Comics are weird. That's what the comics gave us.
Yes, look, okay, the comics gave the Daxamites a stupid weakness, I'll agree. But the CW just made it worse by saying, oh, let's get rid of them by poisoning ourselves. Okay.
Yeah, let's never mention that
let's-
again.
yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. You resolved the episode.
But all in all...
I'll give you that. Okay. Okay, that's fine.
So those are my bad points for this episode.
We won by lead poisoning.
Like the best thing about it that I liked was the fight with Kara and Superman, and I think they just couldn't top themselves after that. I think that fight should have been closer to the third act, because the fight with Rhea at the end, by comparison, was a lot weaker.
Which goes back to what I said originally. It didn't have sufficient build-up for the payoff.
Yeah,
You wanted more weight to it.
yeah, it wasn't good as an opener. I get that much. I'll agree there.
Look, overall, and let's get into the summary now, because we've been talking about this for 20 minutes.
Right.
I did like the episode.
Uh-huh.
I wanted more, not necessarily in terms of graphics, but in writing and delivery. Liked it, solid 5 out of 7.
Okay. Okay. I'm just going to mention one more point before I actually give my rating. So we had Zod cameo in this episode.
Yes.
In
Oh,
the
yeah, that
form
was-
of the silver kryptonite hallucination.
Yes.
Now the thing that made me really geek out about that is not only the fact that it was a clever way to incorporate him into the story and make Superman fight Kara, it was also a shout out to injustice. Superman kills Lois Lane because he's hallucinating Doomsday as his enemy
Yes.
in that. And that is some of the best comic book story writing that DC has ever had. And it's not even a canon comic book.
Yeah. It's an Elseworld story.
Yeah. I mean, it's based on a video game. But it was a fantastic story. So, based on that, right?
I am excited for Injustice too. I need to pick that up.
I've seen
Buy it on
the
Steam.
cinematic cutscenes put together as a movie. That on its own just blew my mind. I watched it twice. But anyway, so based on that, I give this episode of Supergirl 4 kneel before Zods. I would have given it 5, but just based on the fact that it was a bit anticlimactic when you compare the fight Superman versus Supergirl and Superman versus Rhea. It didn't top it. So
Yeah. And what? Kryptonians are stronger than Daxamites.
yes,
Just in general.
in general.
Why would she agree? Well, she obviously, spoiler, she didn't agree. She agreed to the fight
She
and then cheated.
knew she was gonna cheat.
I'm not going to win.
That is why.
Screw it. Let's take over here. Why would I agree to this ancient nonsense?
We can rant about this forever, guys, but we're now gonna move
We
on
do need to move on.
to the Flash.
Let it spill. Number one, bitch, I bet it will. Do the numbers, I said it will. I played the game and I'm still.
Yeah, lead us in.
Now we're going to talk about Flash. Flash, okay. Let's take a minute here to appreciate this episode. This episode is the culmination of a journey.
Yes.
I do like the symbolism of Iris shooting Barry in the back.
Basically. Basically.
Hey, otherworld Barry, shoot you in the back. It's fine.
Screw you. And your plans and machinations.
I felt like it was satisfying seeing Iris kill Barry.
Get her power back as well. Like if you look at things, metaphorically. Because now the whole thing was all about her impending doom and him making her feel like it's inevitable, it's gonna happen regardless of what you guys try and do. Because everything they were trying to do was failing, to try and change the future and all that stuff. And then she ends up being the one to kill him.
Also, everything ultimately pointless because the Speed Force is coming to claim you, Barry.
Yeah, I guess pointless for him.
And
Quite a twist, actually.
I do like the imagery of this. You now need to balance the Speed Force to save the multiverse, and it's your mom. That is.
Who kind of started all of this?
You
if
broke.
think about it.
You broke the timeline to bring me back to life. I will now, as the Speed Force, manifest as your mother.
And
to
set you
set
straight.
things- Yeah.
And call you home from playing in the streets, basically.
I like the imagery. I thought it was
It was
poetic.
good. Yes.
It was good. It was handled well. I do still feel like Barry's not really earned his redemption.
Well, look, you can't just go creating Flashpoint and not stick to comic book canon and just, expect to get away with things.
Yeah, you broke time.
So much. Like, more than what the Legends do. And he did it in, over two episodes. The Legends break time a lot. But
Yeah, they're very bad time travelers.
it's true. And they're the guardians of the timeline. But don't even get me started.
Legends ended a few weeks ago. It's
Yes.
fine. Let's not go there.
So Barry did it in a colossal way, I mean, he affected so many people's lives by doing so. And yeah, you're right. It's very poetic. It's very full circle in that it would be his mother manifesting as the Speed Force, or
We got his
vice
dad,
versa.
his dad's doppelganger, Jay Garrick, come back.
Yes.
I've escaped the Speed Force prison.
Your
Now,
mom bailed me out.
basically, it's a family drama,
Yeah. Look,
but on a cosmic scale.
The Flash has always hit the philosophical notes quite well. They always have these great monologues that teach some sort of a life lesson, when the characters are interacting with each other. Like, when someone makes a mistake or what have you, and Barry or Joe or someone has to sort of give them a talk. They do that very well, and they did it very well visually this episode, with his mom coming out. That was great. And Future Barry, I don't know what to call him, because he did say he's the future Flash.
Time Revenant, Time...
T.R. Barry.
TR because HR is dead.
There we go.
Human resources died, people. Let's get some TR up again.
Wow, that was kind of sad, though. But yeah,
I
okay.
was like, yeah, finally this character has a point.
Dude, in his last moments,
Yeah.
you know, because he felt so bad about being the one to actually divulge to Savitar Iris's location. But he made good
It's
on
like,
it.
yeah,
Like, overly
I
so.
recognized I did a bad thing. I'm the
gonna
hero
atone.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an HR episode.
It
HR
really was.
won the day.
It really was. It really was. It was sad to see him go, though, you know, because the other Wells, who was an ass, he didn't die.
Yeah, because he was smarter though.
He was smarter, yes.
Didn't-
But HR was like a real hero, dude. And you know, he was so earnest. He always tried his best to keep the team in good spirits. He realized he didn't have that much value technically, but he still did his best.
That actor though,
He is brilliant.
he gets a script that says, "Oh, and now you die," and you're like, "Yeah, I'll be back next week." I go,
Exactly.
"This is my fourth version of this character. I'm good."
I say
That's job security.
I say they bring back Hellswells. You remember Hellswells? Like he showed up when they were shopping for Wellses through the multiverse, and he was that cowboy version.
Is that why they weren't so broken up? Because you should
Maybe.
be pretty. A dude died for you. Be sad.
Like this whole concept of creating time
Be
remnants.
sad.
You like
But also, we can just pick up a new one from the store. We got a list. Let's get the.
that's actually quite a bad message that the show is bringing out. Now that I think about it, I mean, you know, comic books at some point were a good distraction to keep kids off the street from doing bad stuff. But the message they're pushing now, it's like death is okay.
After this, I'm like, well, Barry, just let Iris die. You can pick up a new one.
Exactly.
You have infinite Earths. If you have a crisis, there's infinite Earths there. Infinite Irises. You'll probably like one of them better than your original Iris.
Crisis of infinite irises. I don't know. Yeah, it is a bit of a dark message. It's disturbing, to say the least. But it was a pretty good episode. And also, Future Barry teases the next season's villain, the Thinker. In that scene where he's walking around Star Labs, when he's there pretending to finally be on their side, but he was actually there to activate some huge, I don't know what to call it. But he says that over here is where we came up with the neuro inhibitor, I think he called it, to stop DeVoe. So DeVoe is actually like the civilian name for the season 4 main villain, who is called the Thinker. And apparently he's one of like the main Flash villains outside of his usual rogues gallery.
Well, if you're gonna have a villain called the Thinker, the writers need to write something that's
yes,
like
that makes you think.
you are now putting yourself in a position where
Under the gauntlet.
hey, you got to give me some puzzles here. You writers got to step up their game.
Because basically you're talking about a villain that's like on par with the Riddler, if you had to look at it that way. It's all psychology. It's all
Just
mind games.
Bring Kevin Smith back, have him direct the whole season. It'll be fine.
Yes, because we can't have half-ass writing
Well,
for a villain like that.
my favorite episodes of The Flash were all directed by Kevin Smith. Like,
Even the musical, because that was directed by Kevin Smith. No, that was Joss Whedon, I think, actually.
But the first time we're going to the Speed Force,
That was Kevin Smith, and that was brilliant.
best episode
That
of the whole show.
was brilliant.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm surprised this last one wasn't directed by Kevin Smith because it is a good episode.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And I liked the three-way race that we had at the end when Jake Eric breaks out of the Speed Force and he helps them take down Savitar. We had him, Flash, and Kid Flash all fighting Savitar at once. That was pretty good visually. They didn't have much to work with because it was in a forest. You know, there was no building running or anything like that. But
I like that Gypsy came back. Ooh, girl.
who vibed Cisco across the multiverse?
Yeah.
That he was in
that's-
trouble.
I'm like,
They definitely have a connection.
more Gypsy, please.
She has to stop fronting. You know, and she is hot as hell. That actress, dude. Wow, that was pretty good. So it's also okay. We already covered the whole thing of Barry going back into the Speed Force, and so Cisco changed the Speed Force. He modified the Speed Force bazooka into becoming something that was going to allow Savitar to exist throughout time.
Is this a name that exists in the comics?
The Speed
Is
Force
it
bazooka?
called Speed Force Bazooka in the comics?
I doubt it. Well, look, I
Because
don't know.
That's a dumb name.
I don't know.
That's a name so dumb it
Of
must
it.
have come from the comics. Yeah. What?
It's
Speed Force what now?
It was named.
Oh,
Look, it was so-
Cosmic Treadmill is a thing that is.
That came from the comics.
This is
To
dumb.
be fair, that came from like the 80s when they were doing Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah, but they didn't even bring that in. They never called that treadmill the Cosmic Treadmill in the show.
They knew better.
Speed Force Bazooka. I know what we're gonna call this. We're gonna call this the Speed Force Bazooka.
That name was so bad that even Cisco like completely denied being associated to it.
I didn't make it. I don't know how it works. It's not my thing. I'm the guy who names things.
He's like,
I
if
did
I
not
didn't name
name
it, I didn't make it. And if I didn't make it, I don't
Not
know
my
how it
name.
works.
I did not choose that name.
So what he changed it to was a Speed Force skeleton key, apparently, which I think is what he named it, which I think is a bit smarter than Speed Force Bazooka. So, it now basically,
That's a dumb name too.
and well, hey, look,
It's marginally better.
it's at least functional because it did unlock Jay Garrick's prison, and he was freed. So why would the Speed Force still need balance in having a speedster being imprisoned after that modification?
The whole Speed Force is unbalanced because of the Flashpoint event.
Yes, but that was resolved
And,
when Barry went in for the second time.
And I'm like, what are you doing? I don't. This is weird.
But wasn't resolved when they went back to rescue Wally? Because they took him through a series of lessons once again.
Yeah, but they still needed a person in the cage to balance the Speed Force, which is how Jay Garrick got there originally.
But we busted out the cage. We busted the whole concept of the cage because now remember, in order for them to get Wally out, they had to put Barry in. This time, Jay Garrick got out without that. So doesn't that on its own mean that the issue's been resolved of needing a speedster to be in the prison?
Well, no, that's the whole reason why Barry's mom's like, hey, come home, kid, because prison time. Also Prison Break. Also Legends.
Also a show that the actor who plays Michael Scofield is on. I forget his name. Wentworth Miller. But yeah, I don't know. Like the logic in that kind of took me out of the show a bit.
I'm not going to deconstruct it too much. There's a lot of dumb stuff, and as soon as you start pulling threads, the whole thing
I
unravels.
suppose.
So I will suspend disbelief and accept that, okay, Barry, you got to go back into the Speed Force.
Okay.
Be one with the thing. But wait. Okay, so the Speed Force concept in terms of this show is dumb. Because the Speed Force is a Speed Force. It is a force fundamental to the universe.
And this one talks and holds grudges.
But Barry is a meta. He's not. The Speed Force doesn't exist outside of Barry Allen. It exists.
Within him.
Yes.
Kind of like the Force in Star Wars.
So him being. Okay, no, I'm not going down that road. It's done.
We know better. We know better. We know better.
I'm not going to think too hard on that.
So let's talk about Caitlin. So Caitlin gets control of her Killer Frost powers with. Okay, she gets her persona back without having to lose her Killer Frost powers.
She couldn't have done that the whole time.
Apparently not.
I'm not deconstructing it. I don't have time for this.
Even after Draco Malfoy finds a cure, and that cure just becomes completely useless.
We got here a great shot of magic juice.
He spent 3 episodes. He spent about what 2 episodes away from the show to do that, and he worked with Caitlyn's mom. Like, this dude is working super hard to get Caitlyn's favor, right? He went and met her mom and worked on a way to save her daughter.
That is a guy trying to smash.
And it ended up not being used at all. I mean, look, I understand how...
I get that you're setting this up and it's going to pay off.
Yes.
It has to pay off.
Because we would have been going backwards if she just goes back to being regular Caitlyn, right? This is more development for the character in terms of growth and doing something different in the upcoming seasons. But then don't have Draco find the cure only for it not to be used. If you know that that's what you're gonna do, because that ended up being useless. He wasted time making that cure. You know?
Yeah, it was. I like the note. There was a little moment.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, I can save you, and then that was a great moment between those two characters. But I don't care.
Because I mean, if you think about it, you know, like, it also kind of makes the whole thing of Iris killing Savitar herself make Barry a little bit useless as the hero of the show, you know, because his biggest heroic moment is going into the Speed Force, which isn't like visually satisfying at all in terms of action and the final fight for the season.
I do like that she killed him though. I'm like,
it's great
Iris,
for her.
Yes,
it's great for her.
You're a character.
As a character,
it makes sense now.
It's a great moment for her as a character. It's great development. It's great power. It's great resolution for her because she's been fearing her death for so long, and she's the one who gets to stop it. But
Also,
the show is not called The Iris.
Also, none of the characters realize that as long as you got that news article up that says Barry died in a crisis, then
disappeared, vanished.
Yeah, so Barry has to come back for that to make sense.
Yes.
Also, hang on, didn't we just unmake Eobard Thawne? How is his time vault still existing? And no. Let's not go there.
That is a valid point.
Because none of that makes sense.
That is a valid point.
I thought, but
does that then mean
he's fractured? But also he killed Barry's mom. But now you unmade him by killing his ancestor. And that way,
so he couldn't have killed his mom in the first place.
Dead though. No.
Look.
No.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Here's how
Just
we resolve
watch
that.
The show.
The Eobard Thawne that killed his mom ultimately was a time remnant because he's the guy that he pulled out of the flash pores.
Time remnant that by a paradox you unmade in the first place, and
no, but he's a remnant. He's a remnant. Remember?
So
he's like the disposable lives, as Future Barry put it. Sorry, T.R. Barry.
So wait, if a remnant can still have a lasting impact and be a remnant,
well, he was used.
Why is Savitar afraid of being unwritten on account of Barry changing? Because he's also literally called out as being a remnant.
Yes.
But that's going to unmake him. So if you unmake the remnant, are all of the events of the season now undone because he never existed in the first place?
Apparently not. But now maybe that
comics are weird.
Maybe that time vault room as a structure
exists
is a remnant.
It's
a remnant building. It's a time remnant.
Are we inventing excuses for a show's bad plot holes?
We're just trying to keep the show on air.
I just want to keep watching. I'm not deconstructing this. We are, but it's fine. It's fine. I like the show. Make more episodes.
But it was it was a pretty good episode. I'll give it that.
Yes.
It was.
I enjoyed it. I had a good time this week.
It was very satisfactory in terms of story, but not as visually satisfying as last season's finale. I think that looked a lot better. The whole fight between Zoom and Barry and the Time Remnants saving the other people. That was pretty nice. This was also good in terms of the things that happened, but
we had some good imagery.
I wasn't blown away.
I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was one of my favorite Flash episodes. Let's not start poking holes.
Okay.
Because
there's enough there anyway.
It'll go over like a lead balloon.
Okay. So
overall,
mm-hmm.
I would rate it higher than Supergirl.
Oh yeah?
Yes. I would give it a 3 dead irises out of 4.
Okay.
So many dead irises. So
At least
many
it's not
replacements.
At least it's not dead lances anymore. We're getting there. Slowly, people. Dave is being rehabilitated. Slowly but surely. He's going to be happy one day. Okay, I wasn't as impressed as I was with Don't Hate Me for this, the Supergirl finale. But I will give this 3 Speed Force bazookas out of 5.
Okay.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the Arrow season finale recap.
Same, and I never changed just to get a deal, but I'm ballin'. I came from nothing to something.
I must make a confession to our viewers. I am 4 episodes behind on Arrow. Z, please spoil the finale of Arrow for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Stories Corner, where we'll be telling Dave a story today.
Tell me why I should be upset when I finally get around to watching Arrow.
So, well, Dave, here's what you missed. We finally tied everything up in this season finale episode. Everything about the flashbacks, everything about Oliver's journey as a character from the time he decided to be the Arrow up until now. So, what happens is this.
Wait, but let me ask one question. Is Felicity still alive at the end of the season?
We're actually not sure. Because in the very last scene, but I think she probably will be. In the very last scene of the episode.
Just let her die.
Actually, no, let me not go there just yet. Okay, so what happens, right, at the end of last episode?
Yes.
Prometheus kidnaps Oliver's entire team. And he imprisons them not imprisons, but holds them captive on Lian Yu, the island that Oliver was stuck in for 5 years before season 1. So
Okay.
Oliver has to go back there.
Forced metaphor. Oh, look.
To go and rescue them.
Now we're done
Where
with
it all
flashbacks, we have to
started.
bring it full circle, and we have to... Yeah, that's writers doing writer 101 stuff.
So-
Learning how to write things.
So Oliver travels to the island, and whilst there, he recruits Deathstroke to help him in the fight against Prometheus.
Wait, is that Argus Prison still on
Yes.
So we've got a guy who's been in prison 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, apparently there is Argus staff that feeds them and stuff like that.
Well, no, that's not what I'm concerned about.
Oh.
I imagine if you've got a prison, you have to feed people.
Yes, because it's not a...
But you have a whole prison being maintained on this remote island. Just, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Look, apparently...
That's not a weird thing.
According to comic book canon, it was built during the times of the World Wars by the Chinese as a prison. Like, that whole island was meant to be a prison.
It's Arrowverse Guantanamo.
Yes, basically.
With one prisoner. There's a whole prison with one dude in it.
Now, can you imagine what a badass President Nelson Mandela would be if he went there for 27 years?
Oh, and then bust him out in time to show up in the next season of Arrow.
Yes, and he comes out with an eye patch. to rule South Africa with an iron fist. Anyway, so they go there. He frees Deathstroke, obviously, and he also recruits Captain Boomerang, who we find out was also imprisoned on Lian Yu by Argus. So
He's a guy with a boomerang. You can put him in a regular prison. You don't need a special prison for him. Like, hey, here's this guy who committed crimes. Put him in a regular prison.
he was pretty lethal with those boomerangs, dude. Those weren't the kind of boomerangs you could play with your dog with.
He's got a strong throwing arm. I'll give you that. But regular prison, if that dude had a lawyer, it'd be like, what did I do? So I'm just in normal jail.
That
It's
case would have been
fine.
thrown out of court. Like, his lawyer, all his lawyer would have said, Your Honor.
He throws good. Put him in a normal thing.
So, in doing so, Nissa also comes back, Talia's sister, and to come and assist. Malcolm Merlin comes along to come and assist.
Oh,
Thea's
yeah,
also
okay.
there.
Wait, okay. Now, timelines are weird now on account of Malcolm Merlin was on the...
On Legends,
Yes.
as
And
part of the Legion of Doom.
is this the Malcolm Merlin from that timeline, or is this a pre-Legion of Doom Malcolm Merlin?
Look, okay, considering that Legends ended a few weeks ago, we can safely assume that it's the same Malcolm Merlin.
Where post-Legends Malcolm Merlin.
I think so, because he wasn't killed at the end, was he? Only Eobard Thawne was killed.
Eobard Thawne was erased from history, and again, this makes no sense.
Because that's the person who actually formed the Legion of Doom in the first place.
You created something that has a premise, and now you've undone the whole thing.
My turn. Comics are weird. so, so that's the team we have going to Lian.
Yeah, okay,
right?
cool. Malcolm Merlin's back. We're on Lian Lu. We have Deathstroke. We have Captain Boomerang.
We have Talia Al Ghul and Nissa Al Ghul, the Al Ghul sisters.
We didn't bring back Captain Cold.
We didn't. Not for this episode.
Well, Captain Cold's typically, he's a Flash villain. He's not an Arrow villain.
Yeah, yes, that's right. And he was brought back on that heist episode of The Flash, but that's a separate show anyway. So at some point, Captain Boomerang betrays them because he already had a deal with Adrian Chase, Prometheus. Basically, he told him that yes, Oliver's going to try and recruit you. This is what you do. Betray him. Blah blah blah.
All of you are superheroes. I throw good. I obviously will betray you. Yes, that makes sense.
And we also have a fight-off between the two Black Canaries, Dinah Drake and the Black Siren from Earth 2.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, nice. So we unkilled Laura Lance.
Well, in a manner of speaking.
So many dead Lances.
In a manner of speaking. And we're back to
It's a
the...
very bad family to be in.
Guys, Dave is relapsing.
No.
Help us in the comments to keep him on par. So, so that happens, and at the end of that fight, Quentin Lance officially passes the mantle of Black Canary to Dinah Drake.
He doesn't
very
die.
touching move.
Okay. So in
Very touching
an
moment.
epic victory for the Lance family, we don't have another dead Lance.
There we go. So
But wait, didn't he already pass the mantle onto
he did.
the new Black Canary?
He did pass it on in passing, I would say,
Yeah,
because
it's like live up to her memory.
yeah, but
basically.
that wasn't him officially saying you can call yourself Black Canary. You see, in this episode, I think like after that thing happened, someone said her name, and he said, or they said something along the lines of thanks Canary, and he was like, call her Black Canary, you know, and gave her kind of a Quentin Lance nod, you know.
Oh,
So that was more of the official passing of the mantle.
print out a certificate and
With
frame it for her.
with his facial expression, he may as well have.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so
You're making the episode sound good.
it was good, Dave.
Okay.
It was good, and
I look forward to being thoroughly disappointed by it.
so it was pretty good. There was some awesome action. There was this like very like there was this well shot fight scene where we showed everybody, all the main characters in action at the same time.
Oh, hero
And
shot.
it sort of like went from, you know, like Deathstroke taking on like a whole lot of League of Assassins villains, and then it panned to Oliver fighting Prometheus, and it panned to Wild Dog fighting somebody, and like it was like one continuous shot, and so well choreographed because you saw the action as if it was all happening at the same time. And that scene culminated with Oliver chasing Adrian Chase to a boat that he tried to escape the island with.
Who's chasing Chase?
He was chasing Chase, and they ended up fighting on that boat, and then
Fighting on the boat. Yeah.
Right,
I get it.
right.
Full circle.
exactly, and then
Okay.
so he finally then reveals that he has William, Oliver's son, in the boat because he kidnapped him a couple of episodes ago.
Yes.
So he releases him, and then Oliver saves William, and then we find out that Adrian Chase has a dead man switch trigger to explosives that are like are placed all over the island.
This is a very common plot device.
Yeah, I know.
Like surprisingly common.
He kills himself, and the island blows up at the very end.
Blows up, yeah. Finally.
So
Now we can all go to regular jail.
now in the flashbacks,
Yeah.
right? Oliver makes a deal with Anatoly to take him back to the island.
Love that character, by the way.
Awesome character.
Yeah.
One
Yes,
of the
I
actually
would-
the best character of this season,
I think
I would say,
I'd watch your show with just
with
that
just
happening.
Anatoly and the brush fire. I mean,
Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, Bratva sounds really cool.
so
I'd
a
join
few-
that gang.
So a few episodes ago, they make an arrangement that he takes him back to the island, and he arranges. He says this because it has to make sense where I've been all this time, so that people don't ask questions. You know, because now he's sort of like made the decision to go back home. So Anatoly drops him off. They make an arrangement so that in 2 days' time, a fishing boat must come by, that he will then get their attention and get on the boat and go home. So from the moment that he drops him off at the NU, Kovar shows up and imprisons him and tortures him, and he eventually escapes. And he has a final fight with Kovar just before the boat comes through to come and pick him up. So we have a whole sequence of like they bring in the footage from the season 1 where how he was like running over hills and jumping through trees and stuff to go and like shoot that arrow that burns up that bonfire to catch the boat people's attention. So it makes sense why he was actually in such like a hurry to do that, because he has just fought Kovar and killed him, and then it transitions directly into that sequence.
Nice.
So it really comes full circle.
So
So you missed out.
getting into speculation.
Yes.
We're done with flashbacks now.
It would seem that way, because
This
it's quite
plot
symbolic that they
structure.
blew up the island.
This means no more flashbacks of Arrow.
That's what
Or are we just
that's
gonna,
what it looks like.
He's gonna flash back to season 1 episode.
I think they did say at the beginning of the season that this would be the last season that actually has flashbacks. What I would have enjoyed seeing, especially within this same season, is flashbacks from other characters. Because when they did it for Wild Dog, which is an episode that we covered earlier on this show.
Which was a good episode. I liked it.
Exactly.
It had emotional weight.
Exactly. So it would have been nice to see flashbacks from other characters, but still within this season though. I don't want to see them in later seasons, because if you're done with flashbacks, you're done.
Maybe they'll have flashbacks featuring the Flash. It'll just, Flash is back.
Well-
This is previously on the Flash.
Well, they could go either way with those. They could be flashbacks or flash forwards. Because Flash can.
Flash forward, flash back, flash point. There's a lot of flashing. You're a flasher. Look at you.
But maybe not, because he's busy. He's doing time in the Speed Force.
Yeah. Another weird prison. Just normal prisons.
They're superheroes. They can't be in normal prisons. You know? Like if you've got powers, you go to an interdimensional prison. If you're on a vigilante show, you go to a far-off island.
What would have happened if Barry was just like, nah, I'm good. I'm not, sorry mom, I'm busy.
The world would have ended? Because the Speed Force demanded he comes back, dude.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
wrecking stuff.
Well, Speed Force, you should probably figure this out. I didn't, look, Speed Force.
I don't think the Speed
I'm,
Force...
I'm busy, I got a meeting, I'm gonna go to that.
I don't think the Speed Force kind of opened it for conversation. I mean, you know when you see a couple of people fry.
Yeah,
You don't have time to call your lawyer.
The city was blowing up.
You know, like,
You could have just let it.
you couldn't, like, you know, suddenly call Matt Murdock and say, look, I've got a problem.
Wait, so, hang on, the Speed Force is unbalanced
Yes.
and starts blowing up one very specific city on one very specific Earth.
Well, that's who they were looking for.
We don't have Supergirl's Earth getting blown up by unbalanced Speed Force. He could
Well,
have just...
it wasn't an infinite crisis. It was just a crisis in Central City.
I'll just find, you know, another Earth with another Iris. It's fine. They're basically the same.
Another crisis of infinite irises. We're digressing now.
Okay, no, we're talking Arrow.
Yes.
It was satisfying, you say.
It was very good.
I should watch it.
You should. Now, based on what I've told you, we're going to do something weird now. Not that this whole segment hasn't been weird already, but
You want me to give you a rating?
based on what you've heard.
Okay. It's...
What? One of the ways in which Oliver gets Slade Wilson on his side is that he gives him a flash drive containing information on his son, Joshua, who in the comics becomes Jericho.
A lot of flashing.
Becomes a member of the Teen Titans.
Flash can drive now.
Who becomes a member of the Teen Titans, which is coming soon to the CW DC universe.
Yes.
Alright.
Teen Titans, which doesn't have Damian Wayne in it.
No, because we don't have a Batman. We can't have Damian Wayne.
We've mentioned Batman. We've mentioned Gotham.
I know. I know.
Please, just.
And again,
We can get Superman on Supergirl. Come on.
Exactly.
Give me a Batman.
You see, and now
Just
you're
give me
actually
just
making
one
our
Batman.
age-old argument that we always have. Justice League is coming to TV. Mark my words. I mean, you just said
We had that
they've
really
mentioned
good
Batman.
crossover.
They've mentioned Batman. They're forcing it in. It's gonna happen. The fans want it. It's gonna happen. Batman's been mentioned so many times on Supergirl.
Look, stop
been
killing
mentioned
Lances, start killing Waynes.
Arrow.
Get us some Batman.
So, based on the recap that I've given you, what would you give this episode?
I will give it 2 dead Lances out of 5.
What?
Yeah, it sounds lame.
Come on. Full circle?
Look at-
Canary versus Canary?
It
Al
sounds...
Ghul versus Al
See,
Ghul?
It sounds satisfying. It sounds like it's going to be a good
Leah
episode.
New blowing up? We see the
Haven't
first
seen it.
scene of the
I've
season
been-
1, episode 1 intro
I've been
of
burned.
Oliver being found.
I've been burned.
He even calls his mom
I
while
will-
on the boat. That's additional footage.
I will watch
Something's
it.
coming.
I will watch it.
Hey,
and
this was a good episode.
maybe my rating will change after seeing it.
After this episode, that will be too late. It has to change now, sir. Like,
Okay, I'll kill 3 Lances.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give this episode 10 quivers of arrows out of 10. And yes, if you want to do the math, whatever number of arrows are in that quiver, you can multiply my rating by.
It's a very small quiver.
This was a good
Arrows and dark
episode.
You could probably have like 30 in there. That's fine.
This was an awesome episode. So guys,
Well,
with
I
that,
will watch it. I promise
you
you.
have to watch it. Watch it tonight, Dave. And
Okay.
shoot one solo segment of you changing your rating and upload it to our channel.
And here we will have the link to additional footage.
So guys, that wraps up our show today. Thanks for spending time with us once again. So we do have a few things coming up, Dave. You want to enlighten the viewers?
Yes, we would like to talk about Sense8, which just had its 2nd season. And we're going to get into a review of Ash vs. Evil Dead. That's
that.
the best show
Awesome.
on television.
Can I just say that Sense8 is the best Netflix show I've watched so far. It's my favorite so far. I mean, yes, I'm a big comic book fan. I love Daredevil. I'm very excited for Defenders, which
So-
is coming up.
A spoiler on my opinion of Sense8. I feel like Sense8 is the Heroes Season 2 we deserve.
Boom.
It's so good.
It is
It's good.
brilliant.
Thank you, Wachowskis. You know what you're doing.
And we're also going to be doing a film commentary on Doctor Strange, as promised earlier. We're going to be doing that very soon within this week.
You'll find links in the description once those are up. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
I've been Zwelethu,
And I'm Dave.
and thank you for watching Nth-Level Entertainment. To infinity
And beyond!
Like it's nothing, yeah, you know I done it. That is no discussion, bitch, I'm ballin'. I made a promise to my mama, I'ma turn these zeros into tens of commas. Bitch, I'm ballin', ballin'. Closing $1 million deals, catch me swerving, burning $100 bills. How I feel when you ballin', going places they never go. It ain't all about
me. Yeah, I mean, like in the middle of my comedy career, I finally had to admit that I have to get a steady job, you know, because I had to make ends meet. You know, before that, my ends were so far apart, they were following each other. You know, as a person, your ends need to have a steady relationship. You know, mine were just having a series of one-night stands.